Universal principles, like we've been taught the 10 old or the 10, I don't know the word, ancestral principles, and these principles, you can say, are so old than the world itself. We keep being flexible, but we're using this principle for life.
It helps me a lot with understanding myself.
I think one of my best times ever.
In the morning with meditation, and every day, every time, I think we all have spiritual stuff we do, and this is just with the other students. You have to live on a small place together, and you begin to in the inside to work to try to settle out things. I think that's a really important part in our spiritual way.
You can see this every day in your practice, how your teacher speak, how he explain the spirit. You can see this, you can feel this, and if you are open, you can catch it.
Your shifu say to you, okay, don't eat so much, more or less sleep not so much, like this, and first time you always feel bad. So why? So you feel bad. It's not your soul, it's your body. So this hurts, but not really your soul.
Okay.
I think this is very important to reach some goals, and especially if you want to go deeper in this internal martial arts, you have to success these things. You have to know about this relationship between body, soul, and really soul. Yeah, you have to understand this.
So you can have so much fun, and yeah, if you count the hours, maybe 10 hours of training per day, approximately.
I feel like a religious a human being, but I don't say this is my religion. But when I train, I often feel like don't know how to say, calmness and freedom, which is part of religion for me.
A different way to learn about myself, to learn about nature, to learn about humanity.
Well, I wanted to deepen what I have learned from Istmed. I didn't really come to learn anything new so much, as more work on what I have been doing with Istmed for the past years, and maybe gain a few insights that will help me also teach at the school in Berlin. I think what makes the principle or this aspect of WDP so special is that WDP is something like an open system. Most things are defined by their edges. You say, this is the outline of this is what is Wudang Pai, this is not Wudang Pai. And WDP is defined from the core out. We say at our core we have those principles. We have the 10 principles of Nediachan, the 10 inner principles that give us a guideline of what is life according to internal martial arts. And from this we can work on anything that basically we're interested in. Like right now we're integrating ground fighting into Chinese martial arts, which is not traditionally done. But in WDP this kind of stuff is possible. But also of course any kind of level. It's an open system that works from the 10 principles.
I don't want to say, put it in terms like I want to be immortal or something. I don't want to say like this. I just want to find out who I am.
Every day, maybe every day Ismail can change some of the stuff. So if he sees, okay, this is better, we're doing it this way. And not because of we done it 100 years this way, we just continue doing this way, but we can also change and being flexible and stuff. And I really like this.
For me, WDP, the core of WDP, I think, for me at the moment, based on the 10 principles, like an principles. I don't know if the English word is right, but it's based on that principles, and it's a system that creates always, like, how can I say that? It's always in a change process. It's a very, I think, for me, like a living system. That these principles you can find in every part of this Kung Fu. It's not only like a movement, but it's also that movement. It's like you can find it on the fighting side of the VDP. You can find it on a medical and healthy side on VDP. It's like an I don't know the English word. It's right. It's like a base, like the fundament of all. For me, it's not like a religion. It's more that you have the spiritual things in all things that you are doing, because you're bringing your focus and your heart and everything in your motions and in your movements and something like that. And I think if you work with yourself and with your soul, then everything is like a spiritual. It doesn't matter if it's fighting or forms or whatever you like, or meditation, but I think the things that we are doing here helps you a lot to find, for me, to find my spirituality.
The first and the main, for me, main principle is Hunyuan Izhou Tian. That means the cosmos is one circle. So the cosmos is one circle. If you just, this is a kind of information. This information, if you open yourself, can go deep inside, and then you find if it's one circle, then you and me, we cannot be one and two. We have to be one in some way. Maybe we cannot explain this, but it has to be like this in some way. So we take this information inside, and it can work. It can work. It can work. So, and the second principle is 阴阳和太极东进本自然 yin and yang in harmony is so important. Everything in life depends on yin and yang. Everything, the whole existence, the whole life depends on this. So we learn from these old principles. We try to learn, we try with the time, we try to understand, we try to adapt. To talk clearly about these principles would take too long to explain now in such a short interview. For me, martial art is basically the martial art, the art to understand your true self, to understand your true being. So when I started doing martial art, it was all about practicing the body, practicing the ability, and it was strengthening my ego a lot. Let's say to overcome the ego, I guess is the biggest fight you can ever fight.
So when you do the sitting meditation, there's also 5 very important points you must take care of. And one of them is the chin. Can't do like this, you know, it is in. Because they say you bring your chin out means you bring your ego out, and there is between your true self and Tao, there is one being. This is your ego. And since there is this being, there is no connection. Because you put your ego between yourself and the Tao. Okay? That's the why. Because Tai Chi is also meditation in movement, we must take care for this while we're doing Tai Chi. Okay?
My name is Jane Henderson. I'm from Germany. I studied martial arts since I was 7 years old. And in 2007 I met Ismet Himmet in Berlin, and since then I'm studying with him. Actually, I'm not able to put it in words why I'm here. Maybe something deeper I'm looking for. If I knew what it would be like, maybe I wouldn't be looking for something.
Everything has some spiritual core, but you decide if you go for it or if you want to open up yourself for spiritual stuff. You know, it's your inner self.
But,
There is of course Taoism.
Okay.
Yes, but yeah, even this, like the name of the school, Wudang principle. I think also the religion part is a principle as well, or you can understand it as a principle, and so that means it's about your understanding about the principle or any principle, you know.
Do you go? Do you have some spiritual practice for yourself? Do you practice something?
Yeah, I try to be honest to myself.
It's different for everybody, or is it for everybody it's the same?
Yeah, it's different for everybody, and it's the same for everyone, because for everyone there is no frame. You go with it and try to understand, and what is coming out in the end, I can't tell. And this is different for everyone.
Okay.
But the principles, maybe they lead you, they guide you on your way. Yes.
I think it also always depends a little bit on you, on yourself, because it depends on what you are taking from the training and what you want to take from the training. But also during the training, it's naturally you are training also spiritual, even if you're doing boxing or something like this, because if you're going to a boxing competition and you're losing, then this is training your ego. Or if you have to stand up for training and maybe all your body already hurts, then this is also training to go through this and overcome your desire to go back and sleep. And so it's naturally always combined. And Wudang Shan, there's a special teaching which is special for Wudang Shan Taoism, and as you told, it's the teaching of the 5 dragons, which are ego, social habits, natural habits, ritual habits, and impermanence. And yeah, so it's told that these 5 dragons, or you can also say 5 chains, they are holding you into slavery, because the natural desire, this dragon is telling you, you should stay in bed, you should not train today and everything. And with this already he holds you and is like leading your way, and it's not yourself leading your way already. Or, for example, for the ego, he's telling you, that he's not respecting you, you should act like this and that, and then already he's again leading your way, and it's not yourself leading your way. And so with all these dragons, and so it's the training to overcome these dragons, that in the end, it's not those dragons who are ruling over you, but instead you have the power over them, so you can use their power for yourself.